Madam Speaker, after 10 years of this government, Liberal elites and insiders have never had it so good. But the Prime Minister told young Canadians they need to sacrifice. While Canadians are lined up at food banks, this Liberal government hired the Prime Minister's buddies to staff his new defence procurement and major projects offices. He's paying them $679,000 and $577,000 salary. Of course, he's paying the woman less. That's his track record. So this, at a time when Canadians are struggling to afford to live. Will this Prime Minister stop making young people sacrifice so he can line the pockets of...
The Honourable Secretary of State.
Madam Speaker, I know the party opposite has had a bad week and they're focused on their leader, but we're focused on affordability. We're focused on building Canada. Madam Speaker, on November 4th, we are going to come forth with a generational budget that will invest in Canada. We will...
You have order, so I don't have to give the honourable member the opportunity to answer from the top. The honourable Secretary of State.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I know the party has had a difficult week with their leader, and they're focused on anything but. But we are focused on affordability and building Canada. On November 4th, we will come forth with a generational budget that will invest in Canada. We will invest in Canadians. We will build this country because we believe in Canada. Thank you.
The honourable member for Sarnia-Lambton-Quijano.
Well, so far they've built a record-smashing 2.2 million food bank visits, and over 700,000 of those are children. Rent has doubled. According to the Canadian Income Survey, 380,000 seniors are living in poverty. They can't afford homes, and they can't even afford food. Some of them are living in their cars. When will this Prime Minister stop using taxpayer dollars to make his rich friends richer and finally give Canadians an affordable budget for an affordable life?
The Honourable Secretary of State.
Madam Speaker, we will take no lessons from the Conservatives. Madam Speaker, on November 4th, we're laser focused on delivering a generational budget. We will invest in Canada, we will invest in Canadians, we will invest in infrastructure, defence projects, and housing. Madam Speaker, we believe in Canada. We will build Canada in the strongest economy in the G7. I hope the members opposite will join us and pass our budget and not cause a Christmas election. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Member for Tecumseh-Williamsburg.
Right when this Prime Minister was telling young Canadians they would have to make sacrifices, he was signing off for bonuses for Liberal elites. These taxpayer-funded payouts included $11 million for the fat cats at Via Rail, $30 million for the bureaucrats at Canada Mortgage and Housing, and $60 million for the bankers at the Business Development Bank, all while everyday Canadians struggle to afford the necessities of life. Instead of asking Canadians to sacrifice more, why doesn't the Prime Minister cut off insiders cashing in on Canadians' misery?
The Honourable Secretary of State.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. We do understand the pressures that Canadians are facing, and at the same time, the Conservative Party offers really nothing new. Our government is empowering young Canadians to build lifelong careers. This is one of the reasons we are fast-tracking the Build Canada Homes program to get homes built, to fast-track major projects, to create tens of thousands of high-paying careers across this country. Those careers are available to young people, and we know that they're at the heart of building Canada strong, building the strongest economy in the G7, and we encourage members opposite to support the budget and avoid a Christmas election.
The honourable member for Tecumseh-Williamsburg.
Madam Speaker, it's impressive the Liberals are actually recognizing Christmas. Canadians are being asked to pull the wagon through the mud while Liberal cronies ride comfortably on top. The government isn't worried about families lining up at food banks. They're too busy lining the pockets of insiders. They're not bothered with cutting home prices. They're too focused on cutting checks to bumbling bureaucrats. They don't care about rising debt and inflationary deficits so long as the money keeps flowing to the Liberal elites. When will this Prime Minister stop using tax dollars to reward his friends?
The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary.
Mr. Speaker, I see the Conservative misinformation spin cycle just continues and continues, but it never produces a grain of truth. If the Conservatives want the truth, we'll tell them the truth. The true story is that the Conservatives never stand up in this House when it comes time to support youth. They voted against, actively undermined their futures by voting against student loan support, by voting against grants for students. They voted against a national housing strategy many times in this House. They voted against a tax-free savings accounts for youth to help them realize the dream of home ownership. They voted against the national school food program.
The honourable member for Kenora, Kuwichino.
According to the Liberals' own numbers, they overspent on the bureaucracy at FedNor by 60% of what was planned last year, Madam Speaker. That's $2.7 million spent on themselves that should have been used to support communities across Northern Ontario. Madam Speaker, while people across the country are struggling with housing costs that have doubled and a record 2.2 million people are visiting food banks, the Liberals continue to fund bureaucracy. So, Madam Speaker, when are they finally going to stop their out-of-control spending and deliver an affordable budget for an affordable life?
The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary.
Well, Madam Speaker, we keep hearing about the Conservatives and their deep concern for youth, but they continue to vote against any project or program that would support the youth of this country. They vote against it all, Madam Speaker, and I'd like for once to hear exactly what they would reduce in order to meet their absurd budget demands. Let's have a good budget, an affordable budget on November 4th, and let's have the support of the Conservatives opposite.
Madam Speaker, on Halloween, we expected ghosts and goblins, not ghoulish government spending. But this Prime Minister told students they need to make more sacrifices, more spooky words from a government that's already drained their wallets. Young Canadians are haunted by high prices, buried under debt, and scared stiff for their futures. Right. The Liberal spending is out of control. It's a fiscal fright fest. Yeah. When will this government stop its reckless tricks and finally give Canadians the treat of affordability?
That's right.
Honourable Secretary of State.
Mr. Speaker, it's fortunate that next week we will have an affordable budget for Canadians, and we hope that the members opposite will join us in supporting that budget. It will include many ways to invest in young people, in young families, in making homes more affordable, in making food available at schools, and making dental care available, and a number of other things that will support Canadian families. I trust they will support us and avoid a Christmas election. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
The honourable member for Abbotsford South Langley.
Madam Speaker, Canadians have been struggling for a decade. They have got nothing left to give. Canadians are being told to cut back while this Liberal government refuses to cut their own wasteful spending. Nationwide, food bank visits have hit 2.2 million, including 700,000 children. In my province of BC alone, food bank visits went up 80% since 2019. Wow. Canadians can't afford groceries or basic necessities. They certainly can't afford another Liberal budget.
That's right.
When will this Prime Minister finally deliver an affordable budget for an affordable life?
That's right.
The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Conservatives claim to care about youth and affordability, but on this side, we're about solutions, not slogans. We're cutting income taxes, cutting GST for first-time home buyers, putting together a national school food program, launching Build Canada Home to increase home affordability. We launched Office of Major Project. Canadians don't live in a pretend world. They know we're here to help them, support them, make life more affordable, and build the strongest economy of the G7. So we hope you can support us and show you really care about youth and affordability on November 4th. Thank you.
The honourable member for Louis Saint Laurent, Akiwenrak. Madam Speaker, after 10 years of Liberal government, after 10 years of compulsive deficits, the debt has doubled. A deficit is like throwing fuel on the fire of inflation. And unfortunately, we have a government that's saying one thing and doing the opposite. They're telling young people to make sacrifices, but meanwhile, they're spending $20 billion on consultants, much to the delight of the regime's cronies. Can this Prime Minister stop asking young Canadians to make sacrifices and finally table an affordable budget for an affordable life? The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary. Madam Speaker, we're all going to see on November 4th what this government's budget is. It's a budget of the 21st century. It will address the very serious issues we're facing now, given what's happening in the U.S. So I sincerely hope, I would like the Conservatives and the Bloc to vote in favor of this budget so we can avoid a very destructive budget, a very destructive election, rather, at Christmas time. The honourable member Madam Speaker, what Canadians and Quebecers would like, and he knows because this is exactly what he did when he was in the provincial government of Quebec, what Canadians want is a balanced budget. This government, over the past 10 years, has pushed 2.2 million people into the food banks. He's part of a government that has caused 700,000 kids to have to resort to food banks. Will this government take responsible action and table an affordable budget for an affordable life? The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary. Madam Speaker, the budget that will be tabled on November 4th is a responsible budget, and it's an ambitious one. The time is now. This is a decisive point. We need to take action to support Canada's economy so that our children's future is well protected. Now is the time to take action, and we will be doing so strongly.